I've been a filmmaker for over 13 years now, traveling the world and making content for corporations, celebrities, and stories involving many cultures. Now, all of that has stopped as we are faced with a global pandemic.
Coronavirus.
To COVID-19. It's coronavirus.
Here in New York, the number of coronavirus
Social distancing measures until the government believes COVID-19 is under control.
Forced with having a stay-at-home order, I've decided to create a show that talks about professionals in their industry and how COVID-19 has impacted them. I hate being in front of the camera. I look rough and raw, but that's what this show is all about, keeping it real and, in fact, keeping it a book.
What do you mean you don't follow the news?
Sex doctor herself.
Hey! How are you?
Crypto, man, welcome to the show.
Yeah, bro, what's good, man?
One and only Shardell Moore. One and only Ricky Platinum.
Salute from there. Check in. If you ain't been doing your goddamn history in the past goddamn 10 years, I go by the name Tone people.
With the uncertainty of coronavirus, what to believe and what the future holds, two media gurus share their opinions on the state of coronavirus from the news perspective. Larry Miller and traffic reporter Angela Foster talks to us on behalf of the media and what to expect during these trying times.
Like many of you, we at WSA9 and myself personally have been affected by COVID-19, just trying to weather the shutdowns and the quarantines like anyone else. Really no 2 days are ever the same. And, even in the midst of coronavirus, every day has been different in terms of what we've been required to do, how we've responded to it, how we are supporting our team members that are working from home, that are feeding into the station, how we're taking care of each other even when we go home,
So, do you think that folks are lying when they tell you that their loved ones just died? Do you think that the government is just making us stay in home for what I couldn't imagine what reason, other than the fact that we need to be social distancing? And for folks who say that it's fake news, I would say to them, if you don't watch the news, then you can't even have that opinion.
First up is Larry Miller on Keep It a Buck. But the one and only Larry Miller.
Can we get like the Oh, Jerome, thanks for the invitation. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's exciting to be here. Larry Miller, a news anchor over at WSA9, and excited to talk with you. We've had an opportunity to talk over the past couple of days. And, like many of you, we at WSA9 and myself personally have been affected by COVID-19, just trying to weather the shutdowns and the quarantines like anyone else. But, it's not easy. And we're going to get through this together. I think that's the most important thing that people need to know at this point.
Yeah. What do you think is the biggest impact in your industry regarding COVID-19?
Well, our industry has been rather responsive for years in terms of using technology to get interviews and using technology to really enhance our work and our look. So, I think at this point now we're kind of seeing companies, especially ours, send majority of the staff home so they can be safe and with their families during the quarantine. So, like any other company, we have very limited staff in the building on a daily basis. Yeah. The majority of the staff is working from home, anchoring newscasts from home, reporting from home, and turning stories for the newscasts and all of our other digital platforms. And, I think we're just trying to be responsive as best we can.
How do you feel being an essential worker?
I am not developing vaccines. I am trying to keep people informed. And so I do feel a great deal of responsibility when it comes to that. I think most importantly, we just want to make sure that we're doing our job the best that we possibly can. I think our company in particular has been doing a really good job of trying to meet the needs of different jurisdictions here in the metro, keeping people safe, but also making sure that we get our work on the air and that we're keeping people informed, because I think more so now than ever. There's a greater reliance on news information about what's going on and how things are developing and how local leaders are being responsive to the crisis. So, people are looking to us for information, and we're certainly delivering that information on all of our platforms. But, for me, I just kind of need to do what I would normally do, maintain my safety, make sure that I'm doing my work correctly, make sure I'm working with the rest of our team and the rest of our affiliates all over the country. And just making sure that we're being responsive and we're telling the stories that need to be told. I think, now we're focusing on not just the frontline workers, but we're also talking about people and communities that are being disproportionately affected by COVID-19. I think that's a conversation that needs to be had now. And we have to look at how can we arm communities with information so that they can make informed decisions that are potentially life-saving. So that's where we are now, is in the information business. And I take a great deal of pride in that. That's important to me. But I want to make sure that we're talking about all of the stories and discussing all the facets of this virus because it is deadly.
In your opinion, when will the world open back up, or at least United States?
That's a hard question, right? Right now, we have roughly 35 states in some varying degrees that are starting to ease restrictions throughout the country. Virginia is easing restrictions on elective medical procedures and allowing people to get, dental procedures without it having to be an emergency. So, they're starting to lift some of these restrictions, but social distancing appears to be something that we will be experiencing and complying with for months to come. I think Dr. Anthony Fauci, who's the director of the National Institute of Allergies and Infectious Diseases, has said that, we will continue to social distance. We will continue to take other necessary preventive measures well into the end of the year is what some estimates are looking like at this point. Whether or not the shutdown will be lifted in a week or so, I don't know. But they're trying to adhere to the federal guidelines of easing restrictions. And as they move from phase to phase, each phase requires 14 days of consistent decline and confirmed cases of COVID-19. And so for us, social distancing and preventative measures like wearing a mask and making sure that we hand sanitize and wash our hands consistently is our new normal for the foreseeable future, it appears.
Wow, so you're basically saying summer is canceled, no more day parties, no more brunches.
I can't say what the summer will look like. I think the goal from Governor Northam, Hogan, and Mayor Bowser, they're really working together, and they are all working together. I believe they're going to include North Carolina in this reopening plan as well, so they can kind of just do it as a unit. They're looking at, is it safe? Ultimately, listen, if you don't feel safe going out in public because there is a deadly virus, you're not going to want to spend money in stores. You're not want to go and patronize businesses. Yeah. So that still has an effect and an impact on the economy.
Man, I just want to toast real quick on all the reporting you've done so far in this COVID-19.
You appreciate it.
Appreciate it. So let's get to the fun stuff.
Okay.
What do you like most about your job?
I really do love what I do. Like I have so much fun, and I work with a great group of people that I'm just fortunate enough to be next to every single day because they challenge me, they rough me up, I rough them up. We really are a family, and I really do appreciate that about the broadcast business in particular, and being in a newsroom, just how fast moving it is, how responsive it is, how really no 2 days are ever the same. Yeah. And even in the midst of coronavirus, every day has been different in terms of what we've been required to do, how we've responded to it, how we are supporting our team members that are working from home, that are feeding into the station, how we're taking care of each other even when we go home, you know? I just feel fortunate that I get to see what will be a history-making moment up close, to get to cover it, to get to work on stories, to get to tell people stories. I just feel privileged enough to do that. And so for me, it's just a blessing.
Man, look, Larry, I appreciate you for coming on, man. You came on and shared so much information, definitely about where we are in coronavirus situation or the COVID-19 pandemic. I can't thank you enough for coming on, man. I really appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you too. Coffee cup up. You know, I would leave with one thing, and I would just, encourage your viewers to arm themselves with the facts and to make sure that they are informed about how coronavirus is developing, and how the governments, whether you're in DC, Maryland, or Virginia, how everyone is being responsive to that, and just to make sure that people are up to date about what's going on. There's so much changing about this virus and how people are responding to it, that it's worth people investing time, also taking necessary breaks, because I believe that's important, but also making sure they take the time to arm themselves with the facts. I think if we are better informed, we make good decisions, and we can dismiss the fear if we know what's going on and we have a clear picture of that.
Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Jerome. It was great meeting you.
Next up is Angela Foster, a veteran in media reporting important news and always informing the public.
This is Angela Foster, and she can tell you more about what she do and how you are. How's it going?
It's going great. Thank you for having me. In terms of what I do, I am a traffic reporter. And I'm so glad you said news first, because that's what people always associate me with, even though I do more radio than TV. But I am a traffic reporter. I work for a traffic reporting service, so I get contracted out to TV on occasion. So that's why you used to see me on TV every day. As a matter of fact, I was contracted to News Channel 8 when we had the morning news there.
Every day you wake up, you see Angela just reporting and saying, don't go this way, don't go that way, traffic this way. And you can hear you on the radios. Given the fact that we in this COVID-19 situation right now, how's it affecting your personal life, and how's it affecting your career life?
Now we're not all together in one traffic center. Well, and so we have a lot of different chats that are now open. The other thing that I failed to mention, I want to say this. I hear so many people saying, well, why are you working? There is no traffic. So that tells me that people actually don't even get what we do. Yes, we report traffic, but generally congestion is something that we report after the fact. Congestion is going to be there. But right now we only have essential personnel on the roads, and there are still accidents, there are still closures, there are still things that these people need to know for as far as commuting to where they have to go. So right now people are thinking, well, there's no traffic on the Beltway. Yes, there is no traffic on the Beltway, but last week we had an accident on the Beltway that closed all lanes. Someone commuting needed to know that. Regardless, do you like my glass, by the way? I just want to add that this glass with my name on it was a gift.
It's dope. Where you get that glass from?
It was a gift. I was an MC for a banquet and this was the gift they gave me.
Oh, wow.
They know that my side hustle.
I was just about to say that. I didn't know you do MC too.
Yes, I'm a wine consultant also.
I'm a water person, sweet juice. Maybe some Gatorade or something like that. But I do mix a lot of my drinks together to make one drink. So what you may have like a wine, I may have like a, ginger ale mixed with some fruit punch with a little bit of orange juice inside of it.
and I just come
That's
up.
good. I actually like ginger ale mixed with cranberry juice. So since we're being full disclosure, this is actually ginger ale. I just wanted to show off my glass. Honestly, it is ginger ale. It's not Chardonnay, trust me. I love ginger ale and cranberry juice.
And what kind of advice would you give people as far as fake news and what you hand, particularly when it comes to COVID-19?
Okay. The first thing I'm going to say to people like that is, what do you mean you don't follow the news? Then I'm going to say, because I mean, as a news person, even before I started working in news, I always watch the news. I have to know what's going on. A lot of people don't care to know what's going on in the world around them, but I do. But for those people who happen to think it's fake, I would probably have more questions than answers, because I would want to know, do you think that folks are lying when they tell you that their loved ones just died? Do you think that the government is just making us stay in home for what I couldn't imagine what reason, other than the fact that we need to be social distancing? And for folks who say that it's fake news, I would say to them, if you don't watch the news, then you can't even have that opinion. I know that sounds really vague, but that's what I would say.
Where do you think the COVID-19 or the coronavirus originated from?
I have a couple of different ideas about where it actually started. Of course, we're being told that it started in the open markets in China. And we saw all the footage online. I know you saw footage of people eating bats and dogs and things of that nature. I'm just hesitant to say, because I honestly don't know. But from what I'm understanding, that's likely how it got started. The thing is, this would be the time to say, okay, I've been planning to write, and you and I, we're kind of in the same business when it comes to this kind of stuff. Okay, I've been planning to write a screenplay. Now's the time I have to do it. I know that doesn't help you with income, but no, but this would be the time to start focusing on some of those goals that you had planned, or things you've been saying you don't have time to do. You've been writing that book for how long? Now's the time.
So last question. I mean, is there anything that you'd like to share? Like to talk about, given your career and the changes you had to make now with COVID-19, or just anything in general?
In general, the COVID-19 crisis, as I'm referring to it, I'd like to hope that it will make all of us stop and take a look at the things we've been doing. And when I say the things we've been doing, the air quality is so great right now. Maybe we all need to take a look at the footprint that we're leaving in terms of pollution. Yeah.
It smells fresh outside.
Oh, it is. It's really fresh. I'm telling you, when we walk, it's unbelievable. We need to take a look at, why do we drive so much? We drive so much. We need to take a look at that, at how we normally do things now. Maybe we should start to change the way we're doing things, since we've had to stop and slow down. I also think that coming out of the COVID-19, there'll be a lot of changes that we won't even know are coming. As I mentioned to one of my cousins in Baltimore, I said, I don't think we'll ever see that person in the toll booth again. I hope I'm wrong, but I think that now that they've gone to video and cashless tolling at the toll booths, may stay that way.
Wow.
Changes like that. I also think there'll be changes in like the way we go out to eat dinner nowadays. I'm pretty sure once this is over, where the restaurants have that A, B, that grade, there may be other things that we have to look at. Right. We may want to know like what's actually happening in the kitchen at certain places. I don't think we'll go out to eat as much. Well, yes, we will. Yes, we will. What am I saying? People will go out.
People will still go out. Once they said let the floodgates open, everybody going out. I'm gonna let that first wave go. I'm gonna let a good month pass, 2 months maybe, before I actually really start going outside.
Okay, see, that's the way I'm thinking. I like what you said, and my mom said the exact same thing. And my mother's 80 years old, so I had her in the house before.
Let's cheer.
Cheers to my mom, 80 years old. I had her in the house before we were told that, I said, listen, you can't go anywhere. And she gets it. So that's great. Because, a lot of people don't get it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that before we go. How some people still don't get it. My family, they're going to be mad, but I'm going to tell you, my family had a family dinner the third Sunday in March. And I called my mom and I said, they're still having it? And she said, yeah, they're having it.
The third Sunday of March?
Yes. And I said, I know you're not going. And she says, oh, no, I'm already in the house. I'm not going. I was just appalled that, they were still all getting together. I mean, I know that's what we do. And they had chicken on the grill and ribs and steaks and all that stuff. But I don't think a lot of people kind of get the social distancing. They still think it's okay to go over their cousin's house or a friend's house, or I don't think a lot of people actually get it.
Yeah. I'm ecstatic that you was able to come on and, shed some light in the media about what's going on in, your personal and professional view. You've always been a good friend. And, I just want to say thank you for coming on and shedding some light.
Hey, Jerome, thank you for inviting me. Promise me that we'll do this again. We need to do this more often.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
What's up? What's up? What's up?